So this is where I have partnered up with AEJuice, who are the sponsors of this video. They have sent over their pack manager, including the liquid elements, which I will be using to pep up this animation and add some secondary animation to really make it pop and stand out. You can see that we have a load of different categories. Here as an example, there are some liquid smokes, there are some cigarette smokes. So what we're mostly going to use are these splashes. So we can search for splash. So there are a load of different water splashes. And what I sort of want for this animation is that some of the liquid splashes from the left to the right, as you have to think about the momentum. The liquid is sort of being thrown to the right side. So a bit of splash, and then I want to add another splash just as this liquid hits the right side. So it sort of creates this chain reaction. Now the great thing about this pack from AEJuice is that you can actually just find the liquid that you'd like, and you can drag it directly from the pack manager all the way over to the composition and use it easily that way. So you just click and drag into the composition and it loads quite quickly. And as you can see, it's white by default, but we can change that up quite easily. And we want to parent this to the mug top so it actually follows the mug. Now you can see that the position changes a bit, but that doesn't matter. We can just drag it back in here. And now we have to see, okay, where does this liquid hit? So maybe we want it a bit smaller. And we can sort of line it up. And if we go into the effects controls, you can see that we have this fill effect. So we can essentially just eyedrop the coffee and we get that exact same color. Now we want this liquid to stand out a bit. So we can darken it and make it a bit more saturated so it's actually easier to see. Press OK. And now when we play this back, you can see that we have this liquid. And instead of using hours and hours on animating this frame by frame, you can just drag and drop and it's right there. So it's really simple. And if we press U, you can actually see a time remap. This means that if we find this a bit too slow, we can actually just take this last keyframe and drag it in a bit. So this changes the speed. You have this liquid. So now I want the second liquid because it's all about stacking these elements until you get something that you like. So again, very easily drag it into the composition. You can just align it, and this is way too big for now. So we can actually just scale this down to our liking, maybe roughly around here. And again, we can parent it to the top of the mug. So we just have to readjust the position now. And we also can go in and change the color to the exact same as the other one. So you can see that we have a bit of a problem that it hits the edge here. Or actually, this could work if we line it up a bit better. So it sort of hits the rim and sits on there. That could actually be quite a nice effect. So just scale it down so you can see that it just hits the rim. And as you can see, we have this very cool liquid effect, which was created in minutes rather than hours. Let's say we need some sort of steam or smoke for the coffee. We can just search for smoke. And let's see what is the best suited one for our animation. So I actually quite like this one. So I just drag it in. And now I need to do a bit of adjusting. The way we do this is that first of all, we can just scale this up. We can actually parent this to the top of the mug. So just drag this into view again. And now we have to line it up. So maybe it can start right around here. So go up and select the ellipse tool. And we can just drag out an ellipse like this. So it sort of fits the mug for this. So it actually matches up with the liquid and it's not such a harsh transition. So if we enable a bit of feathering, you can see that maybe we need to drag out some of the points so we don't feather the wrong edges. And we also need to change the opacity down so it's a little bit visible but not too much, so maybe 6%. And as you can see, it's right at the end of the composition, so we have to drag this all the way in. And as you can see, now we have some sort of smoke or steam for the animation. So as you can see, we have created some secondary animation, some very interesting animation that would have taken a long time to create otherwise. And this is all because of the liquid elements from AEJuice. So if we go into these settings, you can see that there's loads of different styles. you can get glow, you can get shadows. And for this animation, I actually just wanted something simple, but this is just to show how versatile this package is.